Okay, if I can have everyone's attention, we'll go ahead and get started with our post-race press conference here at Kansas Speedway. We welcome Jimmie Johnson, driver of the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. Jimmie finished third in today's race. Jimmie, talk a little bit about the race and those last few laps.
Yeah, I was just watching from third spot. I was hopeful that these guys get a little aggressive and give me an opportunity, but I watched 11 get by the 56, work him for a while, and found his way by, and then 11 seemed to lose a little bit of pace at the end, and the 56 was right back to him. So I just wish I was closer to those guys to race for it, but and we really ran second to third all day long. Seemed to be the pace that we had in the car. So to come home third, I'd love to finish better, but it's not like we had a dominant car, led the most laps, didn't win this week. We were kind of finished where we ran all day.
Okay, we'll open up for questions for Jimmie. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start right here in the front row.
We talked about it earlier this week, but number 200, so close once again for getting that milestone for Hendrick Motorsports. Is it at any point do you start to get frustrated that you can't quite get that last victory to get there?
This week it doesn't register to me. Last week at Texas, the week before in Martinsville, to lead the most laps, or a lot of laps, Martinsville, and to have our cars 1, 2, 3, and not get the victory. Last week to lead the most laps and get near the end and to not close the deal. Those sting. Today we ran well, but we weren't a dominant car, and we kind of finished where we should have. So today doesn't bother me. Sure, I'd love to do it, but 56 and the 11 at the end especially had more pace than we did.
How much do you want to get that milestone so you don't have to answer this question anymore?
More than you could ever imagine.
Now joining Jimmie is Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 56 Napa Auto Parts Toyota, who finished second in today's STP 400 here at Kansas Speedway. Martin, talk to us a little bit about the race today and specifically those last few laps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit frustrated, to be honest, but overall a good day for a Napa team. And, I guess if we can be this disappointed with second, it kind of shows how far we've come as a race team. And just really proud of everybody at MWR and everybody at Toyota for helping us get where we are. And, the Napa team was phenomenal today. The race car was really good. And, I'm just not really sure what to think about that last set of tires. Car had been really good all day. We put the last set on, and I was just wrecking loose for the first 20 laps of that last run, and then he was able to get by me once he did. The race was over. The car got better longer in the run, and I was able to get back to him, but I get 3-4 car lengths from him and pick up the aero push. So frustrating day, but a good day overall, and it's definitely a good step for us and in the right direction, and we'll come back next week and try to finish the deal.
Okay, we'll take a couple more questions from down here before we head out. The next one will come from Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Jimmie, when you came in for 4 tires and the rest of the top 5 stayed out, is that pretty much a sign that you guys were like either win or it doesn't matter whether you're second or third or fourth or fifth?
Judging by Chad's reaction, I think he felt more guys would come to pit road, especially the guys behind us. But when I look back at how things played out, as Martin said, I mean, you could catch somebody, but passing them, especially later in a run, it was so tough. And I got close to him a couple times, but couldn't pass him. So, I commend Chad for trying something a little different, strategy-wise. If things would have played out different at the end, maybe we could have put 2 on when the other guys were putting 4. Something, just trying to give us some options. I don't think it affected our finish. We got basically back to where we were. I think I was ahead of the 11, but the 11 was real strong that last run and went up there and got the win. So I really don't think at the time it was frustrating. Based on Chad's reaction and knowing that I lost some track position, but once we got back going, I drove by a bunch of cars and got right back in the mix.
Okay, we'll take our next question from David, then go over to Randy.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Martin is a guy who's been with Michael's team for a long time. I get the impression sometimes that you put a lot of weight on yourself to sort of help carry this organization. I guess as someone who's been at Michael Waltrip for a long time, I get the impression is you sometimes put a lot of weight on yourself to try to help carry this organization forward and help them take the next step. How accurate is that, and how much does that play into frustration for something like today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that plays a big part in it. It's I felt like today was kind of a day where I said I was back, and felt really strong that we'd have a car that could could contend for the win going into the race, and then be able to do that all day long. It was a good feeling. You know, as disappointed as I am with this second place, this is a big day for us as a team. It's kind of a statement for us that, you know, we're here for the long haul. We're here for the rest of the season. This isn't, you know, we're not just a flash in the pan. We've been solid each week, and I know our wins are going to come. We just need to keep running like we are. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've won, and I know I'm capable of it. And that's the most disappointing thing, is just kind of let one slip away today. And you know, if I'd made a mistake, or you know, we'd made a bad adjustment or something, it'd probably be a little bit easier to swallow, to be honest. But you know, to put a set of tires on and not touch the car, and then all of a sudden the car drives worse than it has all day, it's pretty frustrating, you know, when you haven't won in a while. But again, I've got a lot of confidence in this team right now. Again, I can't thank Michael and Rob and everybody at Napa enough for allowing us to put this program together and to stand behind us for a few years to get it going. And, you know, good things are in the future for us, and I've just got to keep looking at that direction.
We'll take one from Randy, then go up to the press box, then come back down.
Yeah. Hey, Martin, Randy Kovitz, Kansas City Star. I got a question for both of you, two questions. Martin, first, can you just talk about your diving down low, those couple last laps? Just looked like
desperation.
Huh?
Desperation.
Desperation. Looked like Carl's Bonsai a couple years ago?
No, it wasn't. I didn't drive in that deep.
Yeah. Can you just talk about thinking what you had to do there?
You know, I was a little bit faster than Denny at the end, but he was running, you know, against the wall right where I needed to be, and I was just trying to gain a little bit of ground. It was, you know, like I said, desperation, last-ditch effort, just trying something. There was no chance of me even coming close to making it work.
And finally, both you guys got some red noses. Can you kind of talk about how cold it was outside and just talk about how that?
No, I wasn't cold. I didn't have a cool box today, so like lap 3 it shut off, so I ran the rest of the race with my visor up. I'm surprised I can even see. I had some smoke in my car at times. So I guess my training program is working pretty good.
No. You know, the wind at times would you'd fall into a rhythm and make some laps and head off into a corner, and things would be much different than the laps prior. You know, it's just wind gusts and things like that. But you know, I can't say that the temperatures being cooler today affected us much.
The wind did. I felt the wind a lot on the front straightaway. There was times when I was like a little bit worried about my engine. The car would start surging like you're running out of fuel or something weird. But other than that, it wasn't too big a deal.
Okay, we'll go to the press box for a couple of questions.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Martin, I know you talked a little bit about the tire thing on the last set, and Matt Kenseth also said that he had a set of tires that did everything they wanted, and then he could never get back to it. Is there any reason why have the tires been more temperamental or whatever on mile-and-a-half tracks? Is it starting to get back to that where you can put a bad set on that can just ruin everything? Is there any reason why that's cropping up? Or
you know, I don't have the answer. I mean, sometimes you can go through the information, the tire codes and the dates and all the things that you know, the information that you get with the tires, and kind of find something that sticks out in you know, maybe what made it bad. But in this case, they were the same as what we'd had all day. So they actually, you know, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a matter of circumstance, I guess.
Mike Hembry from Speed.com. Martin, you sort of, after the race, apologized for the team for letting this one get away, but really, was there anything else you could have done considering the circumstances?
I don't know. I'd like to try it again. You know, I don't think so. I mean, I drove as hard as I could. You know, the 11 gained some ground on the last green flag stop. We had a bit of a cushion. He pitted a lap before we did. We came out side by side, and I was able to fight him off. And I was way too loose from there. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything I could have done. You know, I got the lead back after the pit stop. I just couldn't hang on to it, and car just got too loose right there for those 20 laps or so.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports for Martin. Talk a little bit about Chad Johnston. I mean, even though we've met him and spent a little bit of time with him, he kind of remains I don't know, just a mystery.
That's good. Yeah, you know, you guys keep from distracting him. No, he's just done a really, really nice job. He's been my engineer since probably a third of the way into the season last year. And, you know, I just can't say enough about what he's done with the race team. He's a great leader. He's a quiet guy, so it's really hard to see how good he is. But just a great team leader, very, very smart about the race car. And the biggest thing that we have going is from the time he started working with me, the chemistry was there. He understands what I'm saying. He understands how to put in the computer what I'm telling him and get the right answers back. And I've said that from day one when he started working on my car. And he's just done a great job, you know. I mean, he's still new at this. He's obviously getting better. He calls a great race, and he's only been doing it for a year. So he's a guy that I think we're going to be talking about for a long time down the road as being one of the elite crew chiefs.
Are there any final questions from the press box for Jimmie?
Yes, I have one. Mike Hembry, Speed.com. Jimmie, we had probably more engine-related problems today than in a long time. Can you speculate at all on what might be happening there?
No, and when you see your teammates fall out, that's when you typically worry. And I saw Casey Kane off the pace at one point, but then I saw him back running again, so I guess he would run out of fuel. And 24 was off pace a little bit at the end, but I didn't see any smoke, so I was trying to tell myself everything was fine. But I did see, you know, some cars drop out with problems. And again, if they come out of your engine shop, you know, once one goes, in a lot of cases it's a part, you know, a batch of parts that typically go wrong, and you'll see a lot of cars from that engine shop fall out. But don't know why. You know, we've had some big track races this year, and I don't think the attrition's been all that high. So not sure.
Okay, do we have any questions in the media center for Jimmie? All right, Dave, go ahead with your question. We'll let Jimmie go, and then we'll get to the rest of you for your questions for Martin.
Yeah, Jimmie, Dave Robin with NASCAR.com. As you sat in your car waiting for that restart, you're riding 12th. You know, what was your optimism about being able to get back to the front? And since you did, how'd you execute it?
Well, I was trying to find some silver lining in things, and in the last few weeks, we'd been up front, and didn't work out for us. So I thought, well, if this is how we got to go about it, then fine by me. I was hopeful that since we had 4 on, it would give us a chance for 2, and that chance didn't really come about. So I was just trying to find some spots to build momentum around, and then when the flag drops, you just go racing, and you kind of forget about all that stuff at that point. And I had a good car, and I was going forward, and I got to like 3rd or something, and was kind of catching Denny. And then after the pit stop, Denny started forward, and I just kind of stalled out.
Okay, Jimmie, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations. All right, we'll continue on with our questioning for Martin. We'll start with Bob here. Then we've got a question with Jim.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Martin, can you think back to another race there you felt this kind of disappointed with a 2nd place finish?
No, not with a second, no doubt. I've given wins away, though, and been this disappointed before. I can remember back at, 07 Phoenix, we led about the whole race, and the last time the caution came out, we stayed out and everybody pitted. It's kind of things like that that seem to be the story of my career since my first win. But, again, I'm just proud of the team and proud of where we've come. To sit here and be disappointed with 2nd place is saying something for us. So just looking forward to coming back to the racetrack next week. I really enjoy working with this team. They're doing a phenomenal job. I can't even tell you how much fun we're having, to be honest. And once I get over the defeat in a few hours, I'm going to look at all the positives, and there's a lot of positives we can take out of this weekend and so far this season. And we're not near as good as we can be yet, and we're going to keep pushing forward and trying to keep getting better. And I know our wins are going to come soon.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Jim, then come up to David.
Jim Pelly with RacingToday.com. Martin, can you talk a little bit about Scott Miller's contribution to the team? It seems that his arrivals kind of coincided with turning things around here.
Yeah, he came on just at the time where we were really changing the way we built our cars and did our program, and that was really a good thing for us. He came in and really helped streamline the process, make sure it was consistent, make sure we were getting everything out of the people on the floor building the race cars and things. And Scott's been a lot of fun to work with. He was my crew chief when Chad was suspended for a few races last year, and really got to know him well. And he got a really, really good inside look at our cars and what we were battling with and what we needed to do better at. And I think that really, as bad as it was to have Chad get suspended and all that stuff, it was a really good opportunity for Scott to really take a good look at the whole program and be a part of the program and say, okay, these are the things that I need to do this winter. And just a great guy to be around. He's got a great attitude, great personality. He's a lot of fun, and he's done obviously a really good job. All our teams are very, very connected as far as what we're doing and sharing setups and things. And you know, he's obviously a big part of that.
Go ahead with your question, David.
David Newton, ESPN.com. After the race, when you were on pit road, J.D. Gibbs was kind of hanging around just to kind of give you a pat on the back and say good job. Is that a sign of how these teams are getting along better now than they have in years? I mean, had you seen that closeness of a relationship before?
Well, I'm a big fan of JD's and Coach Gibbs. You know, they've given my brother some opportunities, so I've gotten to know him a little bit, and you know, that meant a lot that he came over. And you know, to be honest, our programs are you know, with the help of Toyota and TRD, the things that we've been doing, we've worked on a lot of stuff together. As far as, you know, I know we're separate teams, we race each other each weekend, but we've helped a lot, you know, helped each other try to elevate Toyota's program as a whole. So maybe he felt like it was almost a 1-2 finish, you know. I'm not sure exactly why, but it was cool that he came over.
And is it important to you guys that have been talked about for weeks about you guys are catching Gibbs Racing for the #1 Toyota team? Does that matter, and you need to finish one of these things off to catch them to get a win?
Yeah, I mean, winning certainly helps, and that's what we want to do. That's what we're here to do. You know, but come September, we want to be in the chase, and we want to go after that championship too. So, you know, you got to look at the big picture a little bit, and we're not where we want to be yet, obviously. You know, our other two cars didn't run as well as we wanted them to today, and you know, that's probably the first time our cars have ran that different throughout the season. So maybe we'll look into that a little bit and get a little bit smarter and a little bit better there. You know, but I think if we're all up front, then Toyota's going to be happy. That's a good thing. I don't think we're really racing each other, you know, to be the best Toyota team. We're racing each other to be the best team in the Sprint Cup Series. Just so happens that we're both Toyotas, and we kind of push each other along and get to see a little bit of what each other does and work together to hopefully put all our Toyotas in the front.
Final questions for Martin. Martin, congratulations on your run today.